Hey everybody, welcome back to Thumb on the Pulse. My name is thumbspazm, and as you've guessed this show right here that you're watching is Thumb on the Pulse. This is a weekly news show where we talk about gaming news and other streamer type industry news that gets our heart racing. So I hope you get a chance to sit back, relax, and if you are looking to learn some stuff, hang out with us, and we'll get you as much news as we can within the next 20 minutes. Stay with us! As I mentioned before, thank you guys for being here and thank you for showing up. We do this live every single week and then we edit it and take the recording and put it on YouTube and put it on Spotify for podcast form. So thank you again for being here. We're going to jump into the news a little bit differently this week than we do normally. We like to kick things off with a little bit of console news. However, I feel like we've beaten that dead horse into the ground repetitively over the last few weeks. So instead of giving you some nominal console news, we're going to dive into some really thick boy, thick baby, real life grown-up news here. As we mentioned a bit last week, CD Projekt Red is having a hell of a time lately. They have been getting put through the ringer. Not only are they under lawsuits, under scrutiny for a game that took them 8 years to put out after absolutely abysmal reception upon its release, and then even though it sold a ton of games, it's still getting critiqued to this day. Then CD Projekt Red was cyber attacked. They were hacked, they were bamboozled, they were hoodwinked. They got a ton of information that they hold near and dear, not only from a financial and business standpoint, but also personal files and HR files and things like that got ripped right from their servers. VX Underground, which is a company that tracks a lot of ransomware and other types of malware, reported that in spite of the $1 million with a $500,000 bidding increment price, or that $7 million buy it now price that had been implemented, this all after the fact they had asked for a 0.1 Bitcoin or $4,700 down payment as proof of authenticity. Despite all of that, the original auction that was to take place and was originally intended to run for 48 hours, VX Underground and another source were both reporting that the auction's actually been closed already. There's a cyber intelligence firm alongside with this VX Underground company that are reporting that an offer was received from outside of the auction platform, and apparently the company, I guess, are we calling it a company? Apparently the hackers that had initiated this originally were satisfied from that outside source offer and decided to close the auction without any further bids or anything like that. Now, there are some people out there that say because of this specific way that this auction or purchase of information had played out, that some people think this is just kind of BS, that maybe nobody actually bought this information, and because of the lack of interest in the original auction, that they just decided to close the bidding and say that they sold it outside of the auction. Nobody's really sure. There isn't any evidence to prove one way or the other. However, you would assume that a company or a group of people or whoever that go out of the way to commit such a big illegal act wouldn't settle for nothing, right? You know, I would imagine that they did sell it, maybe not for $1 million, but I would imagine they sold it for a flat rate that they could live with. We'll report more on that as news comes out, but it sounds like this is pretty much the end of the CD Projekt Red has been hacked story. If we do get any definitive price points or any other news that comes out in regards to this, we'll definitely fill everybody in as quickly as we can. Last week, we reported a little bit on the Epic Store Spring Showcase. This was an event that was actually happening just before, if not while, we were doing the news last week. We didn't have a whole lot of information other than the fact that they were going to announce some games, put some stuff on sale, and small things that we could have anticipated by having looked into previous spring showcases. However, now we've got a little bit more information since we got to go back and watch it, and we're going to just give you a little bit of an update on everything. Well, not everything, but some of the prime points that were included in that showcase. The first game that they introduced and actually just kicked off the whole showcase with was a game called Binary Smoke. In Binary Smoke, players assume the role of a rogue binary who's living in a city that's full of color and full of characters and dangerous villains. To me, it kind of looked like almost like an 8-bit side-scrolling type game meets Cyberpunk. What you do is you rebel against the ruling class while players will inspire a revolution of change that changes the course of the lives of the citizens of the town forever. Really interesting looking game, and honestly, I'm more intrigued by this game than I was in Cyberpunk. It looks like it's got a lot of really good artwork outside of the traditional like 8-bit video game old school genre type feel. So really interesting game if you want to look into that one. There was an announcement on Godfall. This game, Godfall, came out November 12th of last year. They are handing out a free update called the Primal Update. Godfall free Primal Update is going to include new types of content, different changes to the stats screen, additional loot modifiers, and little updates to bugs and kinks like that. February 12th was when this was released and is now available for everybody if you've got the game and you're enjoying it and looking for that update. Another announcement from the showcase from Epic is that Kingdom Hearts is finally coming to PC. This will be the only way that you can get Kingdom Hearts on PC is through the Epic Game Store. It is an exclusive for Epic Games. During the showcase today, Epic ran a trailer for Kingdom Hearts, the series, because of that exclusivity to the store and the different types of titles that they're going to be bringing to the store. As of March 30th, which is when a lot of these games are set to release, hopefully we'll have access to games like Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts HD, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, and Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5. Roughly a $40 to $60 price point range, US that is. Hopefully not too much more in other countries, but a decent price for really good games that are finally available on PC. Another big announcement that we heard that I'm pretty stoked about, the game Magic Legends. Now, Magic Legends is going to be based on the lore and history that is Magic the Gathering, a game that we've just recently picked up and I'm falling in love with every single day. All of that lore and all of that information is going to be included in what looks to be an MMO RPG action style game that's going to be on PC, Xbox One, and PS4. This is supposed to be available for beta in March, so if you're looking to test it out and help give them a little bit of feedback, keep an eye on their websites. We'll definitely keep a link in the description down below for you guys if you want to click on it down there and check it out yourselves. I know I'll be on that list. If you've ever found the lore behind Magic the Gathering a little deep and a little complex, now's your chance to really dive deep into Magic the Gathering and explore all different types of stories and plot lines and characters that expand not just the sets that are currently in rotation, but I imagine they're really going to dive deep into all of the previous lore in different types of sets of cards and everything. Really excited to become a planeswalker in this game and wreak havoc amongst all the different types of creatures and animals and humans and clerics and different types of classes and races that will meet along the way. Magic Legends is going to be taken on as a project by a company called Perfect World Publishing that's responsible for games like the Perfect World games as well as Neverwinter, and then Cryptic Studios, which has also helped with Neverwinter. They're also responsible for titles like Star Trek Online and Champions Online. And lastly, just some of the other leaks and information from the Epic Store Show Spring Showcase Spectacular Extraordinaire event, where sneak peeks and updates for free-to-play titles like Rocket League, Rogue Company, Dauntless. Of course, Epic had to say something about Fortnite and Warframe. Other games that were also announced were games like Axiom, Verge 2, Chivalry 2, and others. So again, we'll include a link to the Epic Games Showcase down below as well. That way, if you guys want to check it out for yourselves, you're more than welcome to. Now, this next part of the news is going to be real fast-paced and real quick because basically we're just going to talk about some upcoming releases, maybe some games that are right about to come out or may have already come out, and then updates on games that we've talked about already. So I'm just going to give you little tids and little bits of little pieces of stories. That way we can piece them together from stuff we've told you in the past and piece them with stuff we're going to tell you in the future. So here we go. Upcoming releases. Forza Horizon 4, it's already out. We can play it now on Xbox Game Pass. Now it's available on Steam, so just a whole new variety of people that get to play it on PC. Instead of just exclusively through the Microsoft Store, you can now get Forza Horizon 4 through Steam. That's going to be coming out in March. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is set to release on June 11th, so I'm really excited for a new Ratchet & Clank title. Other games including Persona 5 Strikers. That one will be out and available for you guys to purchase on February 19th. Now moving on to the game updates. Ooh la la! Now this game we like talking about a lot. We kind of saw the diamond as it was in the rough before this game actually came out and launched its beta. We didn't really know how popular it was going to be, but Eternalfoxfire, my main researcher, she insisted that we report on this game because she had a feeling. Well, apparently the thumb on the pulse feelings are accurate because every time we have a feeling, we seem to be pretty spot on with them. Valheim, as we reported last week within its first week, had sold 1 million copies. It's been almost exactly 2 weeks, and they have doubled that, folks. They're at 2 million copies downloaded to play and purchased through Steam. To throw out comparisons, Assassin's Creed Valhalla to this day, and I think it was released late last year, to this day, Assassin's Creed Valhalla has sold 1.7 million copies. Within 2 weeks, Valheim sold 2 million copies. So, goes to show the passion and the fandom behind this game. It's hitting a player count of daily concurrent players, 300,000 or more concurrent players. That's just bonkers. This is the third most played game on the Steam platform. Even the meteoric rise of Among Us, it took them almost a month last year to grow even half that growth, from 5,000 to 370,000 players. Like, to this day, Among Us is still rocking 370 to 400,000. It took them a month to do it. Valheim got that in 2 weeks. Only a week in, there has been a 0.143.5 update for Valheim, so they're on top of making sure that everybody's still happy with the game. It's a super small update, but it adds several quality of life adjustments within the game for players, notably with regards to stealth. So there's a lot more opportunities for stealth now in the game, which is something that was a small complaint within the community. Enemies now have an awareness indicator that shows players whether their wily Viking has been spotted, and it streamlines the process of creeping up behind foes and landing more powerful sneak attacks. So with this update that's come out, we are getting more and more assurance that the developers of this game are serious. It's not some flash in the pan that they're just trying to work on and then just maintain. Until this point, they're actually going to be adding more to the game as time goes on. Really excited to see how Valheim progresses. And what do you think, guys? Should we get on the bandwagon? This might be one we pick up. We'll have to see. A game that was also heavily suggested by our main researcher to discuss, Spiritfarer. This is another game that came out kind of late last year, but is really gaining traction now. Spiritfarer is an indie management sim and a sandbox action type game that's developed and published by the Canadian studio Thunder Lotus Games. This game was released August 18th of last year. It's more of a cozy management style game about death, which is a little weird. What you do as this character is you're a ferry master to the deceased, and you build a boat that you explore this like limbo type world in. You care for your spirit friends as you guide them across mystical seas to finally release them into the afterlife. You make impressions on these characters, you build environments for these characters, different environments for different spirits. Well, this game's getting 3 major updates over the next year. This is huge because, again, it's a developer of an indie game putting faith behind a game that people are going to replay this game over and over. Thunder Lotus Games is currently planning to release them in the spring, the summer, and the fall of 2021. Each update will contain their own sets of changes, including new spirits, new buildings and building opportunities, new resources for those buildings, and overall just quality of life improvements to the game, to the spirits, new islands, all sorts of stuff. Get involved with this game. It's got a lot of depth. It's got a lot of, for lack of a better term, spirit and heart to it. And every trailer I've watched makes me fall a little bit more in love with the game. So again, talking about games that we're super excited about and really looking forward to, Spiritfarer's kind of been under the radar on this one, and I'm really excited to get a little bit more information on it. Look forward for more news. Division 2 is also one that's popped up in little bits of the internet. We've talked about games that intend on using the same engines as the Division series in the past. We've talked about Division 2 once before as well in regards to its title update number 12. That was supposed to be the last final thanks for playing the game, guys, but this is our final bow. This is our last hurrah. The final update that we'll make to this game. We hope you enjoy it, but sayonara. Well, they've taken back their word a little bit on that one, and because that title update number 12 was so popular, the studio officially committed to a promise saying that you're going to see more Division updates within this year and probably into next year. On Twitter, they released an official statement about that update and about how popular it was, and for the intention to create more beyond what was supposed to be the game's final major update. They said, "Thank you for your continued support. We are now in the early stages of development for fresh content to release later in 2021. So again, if you're a huge fan of this game, this is fantastic news because it doesn't look like it's the end for Division 2 just quite yet. Still Worried about being stuck inside? Still getting that travel itch? Are you still one of the many that have downloaded Microsoft Flight Simulator just to try to leave the confines of your own town, city, state, or whatever? Well, there's another big update. It's called the World Update number 3. This is going to introduce new terrains and new map data for exotic, more touristy, not necessarily like tropical touristy locations, but more like tour travel destination type locations. This does include territories like the United Kingdom, for example, England, Wales, Scotland, all getting super fresh, detailed updates that's supposed to be releasing on February 16th. Asobo confirmed it'll feature new aerials, 5 new airports, over 70 new points of interest, as well as 5 new photogrammetry cities. Photogrammetry. Rocket League is hosting an event very similar to a lot of the other events happening in a lot of the other games right now. This is the Lucky Lantern event. This is a limited time event that's now live in Rocket League. This is an in-game celebration that's themed around the Lunar New Year, and it's going to last all the way until March 1st. It's adding the Heat Seeker game back to Rocket League, which was super popular when it was introduced way back when. That's going to be in the game until February 22nd. It's a 2v2 fan favorite mode that sees the ball naturally drawn to the opposing goal of whichever team touch it last. One of my favorite games because it's super, super heavy on the defensive side. I love the defensive side of Rocket League. We're going to see a bunch of new Lunar New Year decor added to Rocket League for the cars, for all of the different stages that are there. Also something they're adding to the game, which I don't know if it has really anything to do with the Lunar New Year, but is coming with this update. The Ford F-150 is going to be coming to Rocket League only for a limited time from February 20th to the 28th. Can you purchase it? I imagine it does add a little bit of length to the truck bed. I don't know if it's going to be a vehicle or skin or anything that I actually seek after, but a lot of people I'm sure are going to be excited, especially if you're a big Ford fan. Final Fantasy is enjoying a Valentine's Day celebration, but not just for one day. It's actually lasting for nearly the entire month. Starting on February 10th, also available all the way through March 8th, Final Fantasy XIV requires players to be at least level 15 to participate in this Valentine's Day event, but it is adding a bunch of new decorations, a bunch of new fun stuff around the area. Square Enix is also including a new quest for players to embark on for the season, though some progress through the main story is needed before you can access this new one, as we had mentioned before. At least level 15, plus I'm sure some other storyline progress needs to happen. This event in particular will also extend into 2 different phases, where the in-game city of Old Gridania will be decorated first for Valentine's Day until February 21st, before shifting into what's known as Little Ladies' Day until March 8th. From there, players can embark on a new quest called the Delivery of Love in order to earn new event items designed after a specific Moogle. One of these items is a hat that gives players Moogle ears and a heart bubble over their head, as pictured, right up here. With the second item being a tabletop plush version of the Final Fantasy XIV mascot Kupka Cup, to decorate any personal space. I'm wondering if that's this little guy right here. Either way, a lot of really adorable stuff for Final Fantasy XIV and for Valentine's Day. So if you've been playing the game or you've been looking to pick it back up, hurry up so you can pick up this wonderfully lovely and adorable Valentine's Day stuff. And I know we mentioned Valhalla a little bit earlier in the fact that it's sold 1.7 million copies compared to Valheim's 2 million copies after only 2 weeks. However, Ubisoft is continuing to work on this game, continuing to try to add new aspects to the game, and they are unfortunately disappointing fans. These big developers and these big companies keep making promises that they can't keep. Ubisoft just announced that they have an announcement about an announcement to make an announcement. Ubisoft has since let out a small update that says something is coming down the river. That's supposed to kind of tease towards a river raid type update. They want the fans to know that fans best start preparing now, because this expansion of sorts will unlock 3 new locations. You're supposed to be able to conduct these river raids in these new locations. They're going to be full of loot, like different types of gear, silver, runes, and books of knowledge, all sorts of stuff. Generally more Assassin's Creed wealth to be gained from these 3 new locations. However, again, this was supposed to be coming out February, and now we're getting announcements that they're pushing it back even later. So we'll see if by the end of February they have anything for us. We're hoping that that's as far as they're going to push it back. But again, I still need to get further into the game before I can complain about not getting updates on time. So that's how I feel in that regard. But to end the news, we do have some really just adorable, fun, just 2 little tiny bits of fun news. One I wanted to mention was Stardew Valley. We reported on the 1.5 update as it came out for PC a little while back, and now that update is going to be available for all console users. I still can't decide which platform I want to play this on. I'm very tempted now that this 1.5 is available for console to get it on console. However, I do know a lot of people that play it on PC, so that's my main struggle, is that we haven't gotten any sort of news on a cross-platform opportunity for this game. I did a little research before the news started today, and there are tiny little itty-bitty rumors about cross-platform play becoming available maybe by the end of this year. But again, I do believe that if I pick up this game, I'll probably be getting it on PC. I should have gotten it last time when it was on sale on Steam, but I didn't, so the next time it goes on sale, you bet your sallies that I will be picking this game up. Next fun fact, and this is the last fun fact of the day and the last news story we have to deliver to you guys today, so I hope you've enjoyed yourselves up to this point. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you can, but this is just an adorable thing from an adorable game that I don't play nearly enough, and honestly, reporting on this makes me want to play it like right now. Fall Guys, as we all know, always getting updates seasonally, and they have not failed us this time. They've given us an adorable, cute new outfit for Valentine's Day. I want it so bad. Look at how cute it is. Pandas are red. They love bamboo. This Valentine's Day, the best gift is you. I feel that way about you beautiful beings every single day, and every time you guys show up for me. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the news today. My name's Thumbspazm. This has been Thumb on the Pulse, our weekly news show where we talk about video game news, gaming industry news, and streamer news every single week. Thank you for joining me while I let you guys in on all the information that I got by keeping my thumb on the pulse. I hope the rest of the day treats you lovely, and I need a better sign off from here on out. Love you guys. Bye. No, the show looks rather professional when I edit it together, and then we put all the goofy bullshit at the end. However, Ubisoft? So I'm just kind of giving you little nips and bids. Nips? I can't say nips. So I'm just giving you little tits, and I can't say tits either. I'm trying to say Tid Bits. Tids and bits. That's what I'm trying to say right now. All right. We are going to get going, though. Get all that snot out of my cavities. This will probably be part of the goofy bullshit at the end this time. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it, in fact. One more time.